Unit 3 Tax Registration. Any business entity or natural person planning to do business in Croatia shall enroll in the tax register and obtain a tax number. Tax register is a unified, computerized database of taxpayers connected with other records, managed by the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Croatia, Tax Department. The entry into the tax register is done following an application or ex officio. Once registered in the tax register, the subject of registration is assigned a tax number. Personal identification number, or, is in the same time a tax number. A tax number is an identification mark assigned to a taxable person and used in connection with any of the taxes. Its purpose is to enable a uniform data definition and connection within tax records and other reports managed by the tax authority. It is an 11-digit, randomly selected number, that is the first 10 digits being randomly selected with an 11th one as the control number. The following persons or entities shall enroll in the tax register. Anyone subject to enrollment in the court register. Any natural person with permanent or temporary residence in Croatia, who has obligation to pay tax, contribution or other payments due the government. Any individual sole trader. Any legal entity registered in Register of Non-Profit Organizations. Any legal entity or natural person not having a registered office or other registered form in Croatia and performing an activity within the Croatian territory. Any direct user of the state or municipal budget. A personal identification number, or, is assigned to the business legal entities and sole traders automatically during the registration procedure. This is, at the same time, a tax number. Natural persons must register in the Register of Taxpayer by themselves before commences business. Their personal identification number, or, is, at the same time, a tax number. When an entrepreneur chooses or reaches the must conditions to enter the VAT system, he/she must send to the tax department the completed PPDV form, which can be found on the web portal e-Porezna. In case that a company is not established in Croatia and will perform a taxable supply of goods or services on the territory of Croatia, the same form PPDV form must be filled in. Entrepreneur can send a request for VAT ID, European tax number, for the purpose of business transactions on the European territory, as soon as he enters in VAT system, or later when necessary. These transactions can be performed when VAT ID is issued by Tax Department. VAT ID contains VAT number with prefix HR. PPDV form must be submitted. When VAT ID number is issued, entrepreneur is automatically enrolled in VISE system, electronic system which provides browsing and validity control of VAT ID of any collaborator on European market. Natural person register themselves in the Register of Taxpayer of the form RPO. Natural persons, non-resident, with a form RPO need to submit request for the determination and granting Croatian Personal Identification Number, OIB. Documentation needed for registration of a business entity is described in Module 1. For issuing VAT and VAT ID number, it is required to submit request for registering for the VAT purpose form. Business entities which have submitted required documentation to the authorized tax department, more about it in Lesson 3.8, do not have obligation to add any other documentation. Request for registering for the VAT purpose or issuing VAT ID number, form PPDV, is available on the website of Tax Department. with request for registration for the purpose of VAT or VAT ID. Natural person must submit also the documentation specified in Lesson 3.4.3, unless it is already submitted when fulfilling form for the purpose of entrance into taxpayers' registry. RPO form is submitted by natural person beside his/her personal identification document and document under which tax obligation was created, for example, rental contract, document of craft opening etc. Non-resident, beside RPO form and request for Croatian personal identification number, or assignment has to submit and passport or European identity card. Foreign tax authority certificate of taxpayer status. Landlord status statement, in case of renting. Tax representative appointment documentation, if necessary. Mandatory authorization endorsement, if necessary. Silence text equals 3.5 where to apply. MZEC equals 4750 level equals book heading 2. A business subjects are included in the register of taxable persons automatically, during the registration procedure, when assigned to the business legal entities. Natural persons must register in the register of taxpayer by themselves before commences business in the tax authority office. Application for registration for VAT purposes shall be submitted through the internet portal e-Porezna. Persons from other countries can contact tax authority via email, odjoel.stranci@porezna-uprava.hr. Tax number and VAT number can be obtained in 1-2 days. For VAT ID number, tax administration issues a decision in 15 days. When registering into taxpayers' registry and obtaining VAT and VAT ID, there are no costs. Taxpayer non-resident, whose head office is in EU, registration for VAT purpose request is filled on PPDV form and submitted to the tax administration. He/she can appoint tax representative. Taxpayer non-resident, whose head office is outside EU, when registering for VAT purpose must appoint tax representative except in cases specified in Article 126 of VAT law. Beside representative's identification document, decision on entry into the authorized registry, head officer's authorized tax department certificate and Croatian OIB statement or proof of intention of performing business in Croatia must be submitted. Tax number can be issued to the legal representative or his/her authorized person. Person from other EU member states can contact tax department via email, odjoel.stranci@porezna-uprava.hr. Every business entity should, before business commence, provide following documentation to his authorized referent. Decision on entry into the authorized registry. Central Bureau of Statistics decision of classification. Bank contract. Business premises rent contract. Accounting services contract. And on referent's request, fulfill form of general data, tax department's internal document, not available on their web page. On the internet portal e-Porezna there are instructions, forms and a list of necessary documentation. However, tax authority office should be contacted for possible exemption from the rules. We advise you to study and fill in, for practice, all the presented forms in order to know which data and documentation is required from foreign investor.